In this video, I'll be showing on our Chandana system a project initiated to provide our Brunei SMEs an easy-to-use and affordable platform to manage their everyday business effectively. We will be looking at the accounting module, which is the backbone for Chandana. So we are going to look at how it works with customer invoices and payment, purchasing and so forth, and bank reconciliation and things like that. So let's get started. This is the accounting dashboard. It shows financial overview of the accounts. You can see it is broken up into 4 separate journals. We have the bank section here giving you information on the balance of your bank. You have cash, which shows the information on the cash-related transactions. This is basically money coming in and out that is tied to the actual transactions. We also have vendor bills as shown down here. This is all about our purchases. And then customer invoices here, where the money comes in when we invoiced our customers. If you uncheck the favorites, you will get access to more journals. If you want to remove journals from your favorite, click on More button here. You may check or uncheck the favorite box. On the dashboard, you will be able to see an overview of various information graph based on the journal type. 1. Kanban view of journals. 2. Give shortcuts to the main features. 3. Allow to work in a context. 4. Simplified screens for the daily usage. Example, add an invoice and a bank statement and add a payment. So from the operational perspective, in order to record transactions, we can go to accounting menu, which is on the top of the page, to do customer invoices, payments, and generating customer statement, and then list of customers. On the purchases, we have vendor bills, to record invoices that we will get from supplier, the invoice from vendors that we get from the purchase, then we have payment that we made. It's ready to be used as your chart of account is already configured, and everything has been set up according to your business requirements. Now you can start recording your transactions. Recording customer invoice and payment. Customer invoices is created to keep track of customer purchases, amount they owe, and payment due. Invoice can be printed and be sent by email. Process may be done by different people within the company. Let's create a new sales invoice by going to Sales tab. On the sub-tab, click on the Customer Invoices button, then click on Create. On the invoice page, you can either search for a customer by entering the customer name from the list, or you may create a new customer. In this video, let's create a new customer, Sharikat ABC Sendirian Berhad. Since this is a new customer, we can create it on the fly by selecting Create and Edit button, and enter the relevant information and click Save. Recording invoice payment. What are the different ways to record a payment? In Chandana, a payment can either be linked directly to an invoice or be a standalone record for use on a later date. If a payment is linked to an invoice, it reduces the amount due of the invoice. You can have multiple payments linked to the same invoice. If a payment is not linked to an invoice, the customer has an outstanding credit with your company, or your company has an outstanding balance with a vendor. You can use this outstanding credit or debit to pay future invoices or bills. Payment linked to an invoice. If you register a payment on the customer invoice, the payment is automatically reconciled with the invoice, reducing the amount due. To create a new customer payment, go to the Sales menu, select the customer. On the invoice page, click on the Register Payment button on the top left-hand corner. It will prompt to Payment page, where you need to select the payment method, that is your bank journal. Key in the payment amount. Enter the payment date and record your payment reference in the memo field. Click on Validate button. Back to the customer invoice page, the invoice is marked as paid. The green icon near the payment line will display more information about the payment. From there, you can choose to open the journal entry to reconcile the payment. If we go to Sales menu, then Payments, a payment record is generated right after you validate the registered payment. Together with the payment record, a journal entry is also generated to credit the amount of money in 101200 account receivable and to debit the amount of money in 101501 bank. It means you collected money from your customers, then you have more cash in the bank. Payment not linked to an invoice. In the accounting application, you can create a new payment receipt or advance money from a customer by going to Sales menu, then Payments. If you use these menus, the payment is not linked to an invoice, but can easily be reconciled on an invoice later on. Click on Create button on the payment page. Select the payment type, that is Receive Money. Then select the customer from the drop-down list. Select the payment method, that is your bank journal, key in the payment amount, enter the payment date, and record your payment reference in the memo field. Click on Save and Confirm buttons. After payment have been made, you may go to Sales menu, then Customer Invoices. Then select the related invoice that payment need to be linked. On top of the invoice page, it will now display a blue bar with a message you have outstanding payments for this customer. You can allocate them to mark this invoice as paid. At the bottom of the payment, that is on the payment section, click on Add button to apply the previous payment to this invoice. The invoice is now marked as paid. The green icon near the payment line will display more information about the payment. From there, you can choose to open the journal entry or reconcile the payment. Create product or service. To create a new product or service, go to Accounting Application, then click on Sales, then click on Sellable Products. Then click on the Create button. The product form will be displayed where you have to fill in the details like product name, category, product type, unit of measure, sale price, and etc. In the photo part, there's a pencil to edit. Click on that to add an image of the product. The product name is what will be displayed on the invoices and in all other screens that refer to this specific product. For our example, we are selling medium white t-shirt. Now there are two checkboxes, can be sold and can be purchased. If you want to purchase this product, select can be purchased. And if we want to sell this product, then select can be sold. If you want to do both, then check both in the checkboxes. Product type is the first option on the Information tab on the product screen. There are two available product types. Consumable, its stock level is not managed by the system. Service, it does not appear in the various stock operations. Example, a consulting service. Creating sales, refund, or credit note. There are two ways to create customer refund or credit note. 1. To record a new sales, refund, or credit note. To create a credit note in Chandana, go to Accounting Dashboard. Click on More on the Customer Invoices. There you'll get the new refund button. The refund, or known as credit note, appears with the same details as the original invoice. Fill in the fields as required. 2. To create sales credit note from a sales invoice. If you provide a customer with a credit note, for example because they have returned faulty goods, you can easily create this from the original invoice. You can create a credit note directly from an invoice in the name of the customer you want to issue those credits for. To do this, go to the Sales menu, click Customer Invoices, then click the invoice you want to issue credits. On the invoice page, click on the Refund Invoice button. Refund Invoice page appears. Now you are required to choose one of the following refund methods. The first one is to create a draft refund. If you need to refund an existing invoice partially and if you need to issue a credit note, choose this option. You will be able to edit and validate this credit note directly or keep it at draft, waiting for the document to be issued by a customer. Second one is to cancel. Create refund and reconcile. If you need to cancel an existing invoice, use this option. The credit note will be created, validated, and reconciled with the invoice. You will not be able to modify the credit note. The third one is modify. Create refund, reconcile, and create a new draft invoice. If you need to modify and edit an existing invoice, use this option. The credit note will be created, validated, and reconciled with the current invoice. A new draft invoice will be created so that you can edit it. State the reason and the date of the refund by filling in the reason and refund date field. Finally, click on Create Refund button. Recording vendor invoice and payment. An invoice will usually include the quantity and price of the goods or services, the date, any parties involved, the unique invoice number, and the payment terms. When a vendor bill is received, You can record it from purchases, then click on vendor bills and the accounting application. As a shortcut, you can also use the new bill feature on the accounting dashboard. To record a new vendor bill, start by selecting a vendor and inputting their invoice as the vendor reference. Then add and confirm the product lines, making sure to have the right product quantities and prices. Validate the invoice when you are ready to approve it. The invoice then moves from draft state to the open state. When you have validated an invoice, Chandana gives it a unique number from a defined and modifiable sequence. Validate the vendor bill. Once the vendor bill is validated, a journal entry will be generated based on the configuration on the invoice. This journal entry may differ depending on the business. For example, the journal entry will use the following accounts: accounts payable, defined on the vendor form; goods received, defined on the product form. You can check your profit and loss or the balance sheet reports after having validated a couple of vendor bills to see the impact on your general ledger. Pay a bill. To create a payment for an open vendor bill directly, you can click on Register a Payment at the top of the form. From there, you select the payment and the amount you wish to pay. By default, Chandana will propose the entire remaining balance on the bill for payment. In the memo field, we recommend you set the payment voucher number or check number as a reference. You can also register a payment to a vendor directly without applying it to a vendor bill. To do this, go to Purchases menu and click on Payments. Then, from the vendor bill, you will be able to reconcile this payment directly.